Allow the children to handle the budget.
It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay.
She
Off your mind.
like me.
Chai! Now wow, people wey supposed talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego politico, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle so they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego die the politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my ego, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my ego diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo.
Hello there.
Ayégun làwọn mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dodo. Ayégun làwọn mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dodo. Ayégun ti dé ọ̀rẹ́ ara
Morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live.
àṣírí ọ̀dẹ̀lú kì í kó níbẹ̀ o. Ó sì tún ṣe eré pàápàá níbẹ̀ o. Ayégun dáyàrí pòlítíkò. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Máyégún.
Thank you so much for joining me from wherever you are joining from. Remember, before you settle down, okay, share the broadcast. If you have to read the caption first, the description of the broadcast, do that. Or share the broadcast. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them that Mayegun today.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì í. Àní ẹ̀ súnra kì í. Lórí Facebook. Àní ẹ̀ súnra kì í.
Thiefnubu has vowed to rescue the kidnapped school children in Kaduna, of course. There are others. In the last 48 hours in Nigeria, over 400 people have been kidnapped and more than 30 have been killed. There's some women who went to the stream, those who went to the market, those who went to the farm, they ended up in the hands of their kidnappers. You will hear that tonight. Good news is that Omoyele Sowore will be reuniting with his family after 5 years of illegal detention in Nigeria. So good morning to you once again, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are joining me from. It is Mayegun Live. So we are going to start with the latest kidnapping in Kaduna. I slightly discussed that this afternoon. For those who probably participated in that this afternoon, we will have more details tonight. In fact, just while we were live this afternoon, Thiefnubu's government responded, and according to him, they feel bad. This is like after 48 hours, okay? They feel bad that happened, and they are doing everything to get the children back. Of course, we want them back, all right? But usually when things like this happens, responsible governments, in any part of the world, any responsible government would ensure that something like this never happens again, but not in Nigeria. We know, apart from the noise, the international sort of attention that we have managed to bring towards this, right? We know that usually they will play all the media drama, media show off, and the rest of that, okay? Then the families, the victims, and the rest of them are left on their own. They are left to themselves. That is the reality. But Thiefnubu, whose government or regime has continued where Bokohari stopped. Almost everything that Bokohari did to Nigeria in 8 years, Thiefnubu and his 48 thieves have, and then others too, right? They have managed to continue unabated. And that is why I am going to share with you first the reactions of those, I'm talking about the families of the children kidnapped in Kaduna. Let's start from there, even though if you have seen this before, okay? This is the detailed part tonight. We will start from here.
Please help us. We beg you in the name of God. Where is our president? Where is our governor? Please don't let them take them away from us. Please follow them to the forest and rescue our loved ones. In some families, 7 members were kidnapped. Another 5 were taken.
After receiving reports of a bandit attack on a primary and secondary school in Kaduna, Governor Obasanjo led a delegation to Kuriga village in Chikun local government to get first-hand information of the incident. Narrating the tragic incident to the governor, the teacher in the school says at GSS Kuriga, 187 students are presently missing, while in the primary school, 125 pupils were initially missing, but 25 returned home.
I resumed to the school today at exactly 7:47 a.m. I entered the acting principal's office and signed. All of a sudden, the acting principal asked me to look at my back, and when I turned, we discovered that bandits had surrounded the school premises. We became confused. We didn't know where to go. Then bandits asked us to enter the bush. We obeyed them. Because there were many and the pupils while about 700 were following us. So when we entered the bush, I was lucky to escape alongside many other people. So I returned to the village and reported what happened to the community. Immediately, our vigilante and personnel of Cadvis followed the bandits, but the vigilante did not succeed. In fact, the bandit killed one of the vigilante. We just buried him a while ago. It was when we came back from that pursuit that we briefed the village head and we started making efforts to know the actual number of pupils and teachers that were taken by bandits. At GSS Kuriga, 187 students are presently missing. In the primary school, 125 pupils were initially missing, but 25 of them escaped and returned home.
An emotional chief of Kuriga town laments the insecurity in the area and appeals to the governor to assist in the deployment of troops to secure lives and property. While addressing the community, Governor Obasani sympathized with the parents and families of the abducted students, although he says the figures of those abducted is still sketchy. However, he is working tirelessly to ensure that those abducted regain their freedom unhurt.
That was the report from that Kuriga village. So now let me give you the quick backstory, okay? 2 days ago, while the government school in this community in Kaduna, while they were conducting their morning devotion, you know, the normal assemblies and all that. So according to them, immediately after 8:30 in the morning, the terrorists came. They didn't give us details of how they came, but according to that teacher who said he escaped, according to him, he said over 700 school children were initially kidnapped and marched into the forest. But some managed to escape. Okay, so the level of, the amount of logistics that you are going to need to move over 700 people will be so enormous. Now, the one you used in moving successfully 287 school children from that community undetected. According to the teacher, until they escaped, ran back to the village, nobody knew what was going on. I do not know the number or the population of people living in that community, that over 700 children will be moved out of a school and there was no alarm to the rest of the community. I do not know how that worked. But according to this guy, the teacher, over 700 children were marched into the forest, but some escaped. Then they decided to go and take stock by counting those that they could see physically. That was when they came up with 287 of them still missing. I still do imagine the amount of logistics that terrorists will kind of have to be able to move over 200, 300 people successfully, undetected, until they begin to make demands, ransom. I am still very much in awe of that, I have to say. And that is where the state collusion comes in. This is where the people that want to keep you safe, protect you, have shown that they are already compromised. Because, I can't walk into a place. Let's say I bring 5 or 6 of my friends and we decided, okay, let us go and kidnap people. Do you know the amount of resources that will go into that? And without the corrupt, compromised security system in Nigeria, I don't see how that should be able. I don't see how anybody will be able to carry out such abduction undetected. But that will be a story for another day, Abi. or you've heard it many times. Here is another report. This one is kind of being presented by a member of House of Representatives whose constituents have been massively kidnapped in the last few days. I wanted to let's have it.
Very sensitive about this all-important issue. Mr. Speaker, I wish to inform this Honorable House that on Sunday in my constituency, Bamangala Kalabalge, almost 300 young ladies were abducted while they were in search of firewood for domestic and commercial purposes in one village, Bulabulti village, in the western part of Ngala town. Your Excellency, honorable colleagues, you may wish to note that these young ladies were looking for firewood to sustain livelihood, knowing fully that commercial activities...
Please raise our microphone. We want to hear her clearly.
Knowing fully that commercial activities in that part of the country is very minimal, and they have no option than to go into the bush to look for firewood for both commercial and domestic purposes. And these young girls women were adopted while they are in search, and the Boko Haram surrounded them, unfortunately, in the bush and then carted them away into their den in the Lake Chad regions after freeing some few old women among them. You should also note, sir, honorable colleagues, that since the abduction of the 276 Chibok girls on 14th April 2014, this is one of the major abductions being done by Boko Haram. I wish to indulge on this honorable House to plead with the security agency, NEMA, and everybody that is concerned to come into the aid of these young ladies and then declare a state of emergency to search for these young girls as soon as possible, so that it will not take as long as it has taken the Chibok girls to be rescued. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Dogwa, Mr. Speaker, I represent the good people of Tudunwada Dogwa Federal Constituency in Kano State. Mr. Speaker, I would like to very unusually crave your indulgence and that of the House, that in the light of the fact that we have a very light order paper today and we're about rounding up, and on a serious note of the weighty nature of the information passed on the floor here by our honorable colleague, Sister Zainab Gimba, which of course involved the liberty of over 350 young men and women, like she said. So I would like to crave your indulgence and the leave of the House, if you could allow Mariam Gimba to quickly go beyond just the passage of information on the floor of the House. The matter, I feel, is too important to just be mentioned without necessarily taking a legislative pronouncement immediately. So I want to crave your indulgence. I have discussed with her that she is ready and she has the motion on her system. If the House could allow her, bearing in mind the tragic nature of what actually happened and the sensitivity of the matter she brought, to allow her pick it as a motion, so that at the end the House could take a position and is now resolved as a pronouncement of this honorable House, not just an information like she just passed. So I plead with the House to allow that, please.
Thank you. You know, hardly, because the order of business of the day, once it is out there, we usually follow it strictly. But because we saw that she flew into the country because of what just happened, and she came here in tears, and the compassion and the passion for her constituent, we decided to do what was not, ordinary to this House by waiving order 8. But because she was also emotional, she did not present it as a motion, with a space for us to move a resolution, to have a resolution from the House. And that was why we asked her to bring it next week. But based on your plea, does she have the copy of the motion? Can I see a copy?
Yes, I guess she has
with
one.
Necessary prayers.
I guess she should have one with her now.
Can I have a copy, please? Based on your plea and the urgency of this matter and its importance, we'll
come back to you, the complainant in the National Assembly. That's a lady who believes that 300 ladies have been kidnapped in northern Naone constituency, and she believes that if the National Assembly can help them by bringing attention to it, like she just did, but she was saying that they should please plead with the security agents to go and help and rescue them. Now, if we have 300 ladies kidnapped by Boko Haram, and they are currently in their, in their custody as hostages. So now add the 300 plus 287 school children. That will make it over 500, and that will make it 587, yeah? They haven't given account of how many school teachers were kidnapped in that school as well yet, okay? So we will wait on that. While you were watching that, I was having a chat, a little one with my people on TikTok. So I want to tell you what that was. You see, everyone who has been on this platform, who has been following the developments in Nigeria, the terrorism in Nigeria, majority of you have more knowledge, detailed understanding of what is really happening there. Because typically, what the criminal system in Nigeria wanted us to do, even if we are going to talk about all of these killings and kidnappings, they don't want us to mention those behind it. Because mentioning those behind it or naming the culprit, the criminals, the terrorists, will be considered as, trying to blacklist a tribe or an ethnic, what have you. But here is the problem. Everybody knows that Nigeria is in trouble. A lot, even the criminals in charge knows. And we also know that the terrorism in Nigeria, the insecurity in Nigeria, in every part of Nigeria, is the creation of government. We do know. We know those who brought in terrorists into Nigeria, Fulani terrorists in particular. They do not want us to call them Fulani terrorists. They want us to call them bandits. And they are not bandits. They are terrorists. While they were trying to cover the terrorists in Nigeria under Bokohari, where they wanted us to part with our lands, your lands or your lives, that's what they asked us. Give up your lands or you give up your lives. We knew then that they were trying to claim our lands for Fulani terrorists that they once told us came from Futa Jalon, Futa sorrow, Futa sadness, and Futa anguish. However, we also saw how the Nigeria government under Bokohari decided to not only militarize the eastern part of Nigeria, it is also to terrorize the eastern part of Nigeria. We saw how and how much they spent locally and internationally to convince all of you that IPOB is going to be more dangerous than Boko Haram. There are people from northern Nigeria that believes that Boko Haram are freedom fighters. But IPOB is more dangerous than them. IPOB, ESN, they have not attacked one single person, kidnapped any single person on record, though. Then they created unknown gunmen, which is to kind of tell you that, oh, you see those armed gunmen that never encountered the Nigerian military, despite the fact that the eastern part of Nigeria is so militarized that every 100 meters, you will see a military roadblock. They were flexing, they are flexing their muscle in the eastern Nigeria, but you will never hear where they will say unknown gunmen, they engage in gun battle with the Nigeria military in eastern part of Nigeria. Rather, you will see the Nigerian terrorist military in eastern part of Nigeria attacking civilian communities. And they will say they are looking for ESN. So why am I saying this? So many times we have seen APC try to change narrative, okay, by trying to make you believe that this terrorism is not limited to these Fulanis and their jihadist fellows in Boko Haram. They have been doing everything to convince you that ESNO, IPOBO, they are more dangerous, yeah? And some of you actually believe them. To the point that you have grown so cold and numb when you hear news of the killings of the Fulani terrorists, the killings of the Boko Haram. You are so numb that somehow you are desperate to look for something to justify it. But the question you are not asking yourself is this: how come that despite the amount of military that they've pumped to the eastern part of Nigeria, how come, say, the unknown gunmen that they will say they are like, unknown gunmen that they said are troubling the place, right? Which are politically armed thugs of APC and PDP, by the way. How come they know they engage in gun battle? That's number one. Secondly, when we tell you about Fulani terrorists, when I tell you about the Boko Haram terrorists and their sponsor, I give you evidence. Not only the evidence of what they have done, but from the victim's mouth. People come out and say, we were kidnapped by the Fulani terrorists. We paid ransom to Fulani terrorists. But some people are doing so much, more than they are overworking than the devil, trying to convince you that, what if they are not Fulani? What if they are other people like Yorubas? Are you sure that all these people that are kidnapping people are Yorubas? They kidnapped Igwe in eastern Nigeria. The man came back and said, those who kidnapped him were Fulani terrorists. But somebody on social media wants to convince you and say, they are kidnapping people in eastern Nigeria too. I am asking you, if you do have any victims of kidnapping in eastern Nigeria, who came up and say, he was kidnapped by IPOB or ESN, send it to me. Because we know how much you, Olori Brukus, are working more than the devil to try to justify this terrorism and make people understand, make people feel like it is normal. They should get used to it. They killed Yoruba Obas in Ekiti. We saw Yoruba APC, Olori Bruku Omo Alice, cooking up different stories of, oh, they've arrested the people who killed the Obas. And in fact, they are Yorubas. Oh, they've arrested this also and so. He's working with kidnappers. Now we know that it's not Fulani. At the end of the day, Kolori ko Neru, but the Yoruba Obas were slaughtered. And that's why I told you, like, you can continue to pretend and hide. Seriously. When you become a victim, they will send me your story, and I will use your story to teach others. I'm not saying you shouldn't get so mad. I mean, I'm not saying I am here to cure your madness of your Igbo versus Yoruba madness that some of you are suffering from. But I am here to call your attention to what is about to kill you. And you will not be saved by that your bigotry of Yoruba, this Igbo, that, because the terrorists and the terror that is spreading, we know those behind it. And we know those who are covering it. We know how much the state collusion is preventing justice. In fact, it's so bad that people are not allowed to defend themselves. We are seeing all of that. And you want to point fingers without evidence. Anyway, let's go back to that, Honorable. Because I have seen where a lot of people have been walking over like more than the devil to try to make you think if they are kidnapping people in in northern Nigeria and kidnapping people in southern and eastern Nigeria, it is normal. Everybody has their own criminals from their own. No. Don't mix it up. Let's go back to this lady, because I still have a long night, by the way. Here.
Honorable Dr. Zainab Gimba, I represent Bamangala Kalabulbe Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Borno State. Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Mr. Speaker.
Just go straight to the motion. Move.
I wish to move for the suspension. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Since my senior colleague, Honorable Dogwa, has made that suspension, I would like to move on with the motion. Mr. Speaker, the motion is abduction of dozens of women and children in IDP camps in Gala, Borno State. The House knows the recent abduction of dozens of women and children in Gala, Borno State by the Boko Haram insurgents. Also knows that the abduction took place last Sunday the 3rd when the women went to fetch firewood in the bush for domestic and commercial purposes. Further knows that while the women were fetching the firewood, they were surrounded by the insurgents in Bulabultie village in the western part of Ngala town. Again knows that the insurgents freed the old age but abducted about almost 300 evil young girls and boys. Aware that most of the abducted women were from Babban Sansani and some from Zulum and Arabic camps. Worried that lack of enough food in the camps
Honorable Madaki, approach the chair.
has forced
Honorable
the women
Allegiance,
to go
approach
in
the chair.
search of firewood to sell so as to complement the food being given to them
Honorable
in the
Madaki,
camps
approach the chair.
by the state government and some other development partners. Note that 3 girls escaped from the den of the insurgents reported that they were taken to a bush close to Bunkar Mairam village along the shores of the Lake Chad, bordering the Republic of Chad and Cameroon. Also worried that the women were made to search for firewood for sale in view of the cost of living in the camps, where a small measure of corn flour is sold at 2,200 to 2,500, and this has made life very unbearable to them. Recalls that this is one of the major abductions that took place in Borno State since the abduction of the 276 girls of Gaman Girls Secondary School Chibok on the night of the 14th April in 2014. Resolves to urge the security personnel deployed to the camps to intensify vigilance in and around the camps. The House also resolves to task all security agencies to rescue all abducted victims. It further urged the NEMA to take necessary measures to ensure that residents of the camps are adequately fed, and equally mandate the committees on emergency and disaster preparedness and internally displaced persons and refugees to ensure compliance. Thank you.
Thank you. I didn't see where your prayers.
Yeah, it is here.
Is it one of your prayers, or somebody want to make an amendment to that? Because to me, that is more important than NEMA.
Yeah, I've said
and all the rest of them. I want to get those gears back.
It is here, sir. I've made mention of it.
Prayer number what?
I made it at prayer number 1 to task all security agencies to rescue all abducted victims. Let me give you the amended.
Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele.
Sorry, Jerry, ladies, okay? Nuisance in here. Even though the message is delivered, but she said she's praying for the other clowns inside that place to help them talk to the government so that they can help them rescue. And I don't know. Nigeria at the finish. I am just here to remind you every day. Okay? So, somebody was like, we don't need all this talk. We need action. Baba Moya Kobo Wiri, Ashiri. Action from who? Action, Latawatani. You are being ruined. And a lot of you who are the direct victims, you are there on your phone, keypad warrior. We don't need all this talk. We need action. Mayegun, we don't need all this talk. We need revolution. Baba, what have you done in your capacity to help us get to the road of that revolution? Personally, what have you done in your own personal private capacity? Shibufe revolution. What have you done? You are waiting for somebody else, Abi? Hey now, we need action. Action from who? In the last 6 months alone, how much of the action have you taken in your personal capacity? Apart from you and your phone, telling people to stop talking but do action. Action from where? You see, we have reminded you a lot. Oh, see, those of you who wanted revolution and the rest of you who are waiting for others to start it, you are not ready. When you are ready, when the bedu enter body very well, you won't sit on that your phone and then asking Mayegun, what can we do now? What is the next thing to do? Because you are not ready. When you are ready, you will know what to do. You won't wait for anybody. Okay? The action that you need is right there in your own hand. Or if you think, so I mean, all this talk, so one of them, even one useless one, even said, all this talk, nobody is listening to you. But you are listening to me. You are here. You could be elsewhere. You could be somewhere else. But you are here. Somehow, you are concerned. You know that somehow, this also affects you, even if you want to pretend it doesn't. This is my own role to make every one of you understand the danger that we are all in. Now, you can pretend or live in denial of it. But do you know what you will never deny? Your conscience, except if you haven't heard it from me. And as for the criminals in charge of Nigeria, they don't need to listen to me. They do not listen to any of you anyway. But you know something? A lot of you can hear them loud and clear. The shaggers from left, right, and center. They will hear from you. They don't need to hear from me. They will hear from all of you, all of us. And what they will hear, I don't know. That will be up to you. So let's go back a little bit. Where somebody was talking about, listen, this kidnappings is what you have heard. There is another ongoing genocide in Benue. Pray and tell that YouTube will not get mad with this video. I'll show it briefly. 17 people were slaughtered in a community in Benue. I mean, we saw the Fulani jihadists and the endless attack when they turned Benue, the food basket of Nigeria, to graveyard of Nigeria. Benue has different burial grounds. People killed by the Fulani terrorists in 8 years of Bokohari APC. In 2023, INEC Mahmoud announced that the state is now controlled by APC because a reverend father told them, right, that party doesn't matter because he who handled terrorism now, the killings have continued, by the way. Yesterday's survivors. Abi, today's victims are yesterday's survivors. Tomorrow's victims are today's survivor. Some of us have survived today. Tomorrow is another day. Those ones survived, I think 2 days ago. They became the victims of the place this morning. Now, those who survived yesterday, who survived today, tomorrow is another day. So, back to 2015, where one of the people that worked for Pastor Ruga's a media man, Olaolu Akonde, who happened to be one of the sellers that did the devil's work for APC, Egbekegbe Bokohari, and Pastor Ruga at the time. They don't give the guy a job for Channels Television now. So here he is, asking Dele Farotimi if he believes that Thiefnubu Koolu could possibly still turn the tide and perform the miracle he performed in Lagos, all lies. I want you to listen. Yeah.
A huge groundswell in this country, that produced, which was denominated by the change mantra. And you could see that there was a groundswell of opinion in the direction of change. Nigerians expected change. Now, I don't think that change has happened, and that's a long story. But this is my question. Do you think the fact that today we have as president somebody who had always been an active participant in the quest for good governance, even better governance, somebody who has been a pro-democracy activist even before he became governor, and somebody who gives us the record, and we know of some of the things that happened in Lagos, fairly useful. Do you think that he can turn around the situation that this country is in today? I must ask you that question, Mr. Farotimi. Is there any chance at all that if we are going to live by what he says, we can begin to turn the direction in a good or a better trajectory? Mr. Farotimi.
One of the things that we have been very successful at doing is for our false narratives. We have created compelling lies that we have deluded ourselves into accepting as truth. One of them is where you started your question, the lies of 2014, 2015. I remember, not everybody bought into those lies. I remember very clearly that the essay that titled my first book, Do Not Die in Their War, published by Guardian on the 7th of February 2015, before the election, I said very clearly that there is an illusion of change being marketed, and that all you actually need to do to realize that it is delusional to believe in this lie is to look at the high table whenever they are talking about the APC. That each and every one of the persons sat on the high table is directly responsible for where we were as at that time. Nothing has changed between 2015 and today. Let's be clear about something. You said that the man had done some things in Lagos that should suggest to us that perhaps we'll see some changes in Nigeria. I put it to you, sir. Lagos is the 5th largest economy in Africa. I'm being told by multiple economists. What is it about the services and infrastructure in Lagos is suggestive of it being the 5th best in Africa? Is it the healthcare delivery system? The man built Lagos, quote and unquote, but he hasn't built a single healthcare facility in Lagos in 20-something years that is capable of treating his own many ailments. That is one. In Lagos State, for every government classroom, for every classroom built by the Lagos State government, and I'm not talking about those built in the last 20-something years, I'm talking about those that have been built from the inception till date. For everyone, there are at least 4 private classrooms. That is telling you the total failure of the educational system in Lagos is completely, almost completely privatized. The ones that are in existence are so degraded that nobody who can afford it will send their children to those schools. That is what had been built in the last 25 years. When you now begin to look at the road infrastructure in Lagos State, my neighborhood, the Lekki-Ekpe axis, they've been building the single road in and out of my neighborhood for over 16 years. It's not been completed. It's a nightmare to travel that road. Those are the examples you have to look at when you begin to look at what he might be able to do at the federal level. The finances of Lagos State remains one of the most opaque in Nigeria. What is happening is that in the midst of the rot that Nigeria has become, we've been pointing to the lies and propaganda being told of a Lagos that has been built and that will be replicated at the federal level. They'll point at some moribund rail lines. Let's talk about that. 16 or 17 years at God knows how much inflated cost they built the blue line. They're talking about a red line now. Question is, how much of that red line actually belongs to the federal government? How much of it was built by Lagos state government? At what cost? Fact of the matter is that if we actually look to the evidences of our eyes and we look to what we see within the states that the man has superintended for over 20 years in one form or the other, whether as governor or as godfather, reality is that it should tell us that we should expect nothing in Nigeria. And the evidence of the last 9 months are unimpeachable and cannot be denied. I know that the convenient excuse is always that Buhari had damaged it and is repairing it. But who brought Buhari? Who was the chief marketer of Buhari in 2014, 2015 when the change lie was sold to Nigerians? The fact of the matter is that
a huge...
Thank you, Jare DF. Dele Farotimi. Everyone who lives in Lagos, apart from those who are not proud of where they come from, but they suddenly became Lagosians. Those who cannot tell you where they come from, because most of where they come from have become so underdeveloped that they are not proud. But the Lagos they want you to believe exists, it exists in the imagination of these Uluri Brukus. To them, collecting money from people, which is not in any way corroborate with the development that is associated with it. 16 years to build one single rail line, called Blue Line. Now, it's going to take them maybe another 16 years to build you the Red Line. 24 years of planning to build you a fourth mainland bridge is not happening. You do not have water. Drinking water, government-provided water, doesn't exist in Lagos. You do not have a motorable road. All, you know that yourselves. You do not have any drainage system that is befitting of any modern city in any part of the world. You are living in the shittiest capital, you say, Abi? But you won't agree because politically, Thiefnubu built Lagos. Now, to everybody where we say then they that Lagos, they live inside that Lagos. Not the Agberos that came to Lagos and were sleeping under the bridge, robbing people, and today MC Olueron is their Lord and Savior. Not those ones. I'm talking about those of you who are really, really the victims of the extortion of Thiefnubu's kleptomaniac profligacy or something. I'm talking about you. So when they tell you that Thiefnubu built Lagos and he will do the same thing for Nigeria, wasn't it pretty much a direct message that nobody should expect anything at all? See, DF, complete what you are saying.
Until we all come to the knowledge of the fact that nobody is coming to save us but we ourselves, nothing is going to change. And there is nothing that has been done by this man to suggest that we should expect anything positive. In fact, we should brace ourselves for more to come.
Wow. Well, I mean, Mr. Farotimi, quite a very compelling argument that you put forward there. And I hope as to the questions that you have put out regarding the red ray and the blue ray, that we'll be able to get a little bit more clarity about it. One last question before you go, Mr. Farotimi. So, do you subscribe to any kind of political reforms, that might help the people to get out of what is clearly something that is not worth the while, based on your description?
Let me tell you this. You can speak to political reforms in a society governed by law and that is rule-based. But this is not that society. What has happened is that with the ascension to office of the man known as Bola Ahmed Tinubu, an INEC that advertised beavers, transmission of election results from the polling unit level, unilaterally turned around and talked about glitches, and the courts decided to be legalistic in the interpretation of clear provisions of the Electoral Act. So today, what the courts have said is that the INEC does not have to transmit results electronically. So we are back in a situation where someone like Wike is appointing his person as an INEC commissioner. So we are in a situation where whatever INEC says is the result is the result. And if you are now saying that we should look to reforms, question is, who is to reform our situation? Can we depend on beneficiaries of electoral highs to then reform themselves out of power? It is next to impossible. I have spent my time since after the election seeking to educate the Nigerian people to understand that they are the only ones who can rescue themselves from this mess. Nigeria is already headed almost inexorably towards a catastrophe. But the reality is that if the people are not carefully educated to understand that they are not each other's enemies, that the real enemies of the people are those who have ruined this country and placed us where we are, we will end up in an implosion. I fear that. I run away from that, and I seek to educate the people to understand that Chinedu, Ngozi, Wasiu, Kule, Nodu, or Aminu, those are not the enemies. The enemies are the beneficiaries of this system. This system has to end one way or the other before Nigeria can be rescued. The beneficiaries of this system, both within and outside Nigeria, are taking too much pleasure, and they have no deterrence. They have nothing to gain from reforming it. They've successfully weaponized ignorance and poverty against the people, and they are not they are so hard-headed, they cannot even see what is in their own enlightened, selfish interest, and they believe that they can sustain this evil reign. But I know human history has told me that this is not sustainable. My worry is that we don't end up in a catastrophic situation. That is my sole worry. But to expect any change or self-reform from this system is delusional. It's not going to happen.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Farotimi. And
thank you very much.
What shall I say unto the Lord?
Yes, Lord.
All I have to say,
Thank you, Lord. What shall I say? Thank you,
Thank you very much, Barrister Dele Farotimi, DF. Do not die in their war. Do not look at me like I am your enemy. I have not contributed either directly or indirectly to whatever you are facing in that contraption today. We are all supposed to be victims. And according to Dele Farotimi, if you are expecting any reform, political reform, from people that are already enjoying the lawlessness in that contraption, you want them to suddenly shoot themselves on the foot and say, oh, we want to do the right thing. They will never do it. You will be tired of living in bondage and you will break the shackle. But while you are trying to figure that out, save your energy. Aminu, Mayegu is not your enemy. Chinedu, Temitokwe is not your enemy. I'm also calling you Adekunle. Nozo is not your enemy. If you have sense, you will realize that the only people that enjoy your division are those who are enjoying one Nigeria. One Nigeria is not in your interest. It is not in my interest. And that is why if I have a choice, which I must have, you must have choice. We will have to decide if we want to still be together or not. And in fact, I don't want to be together with you. Let's be honest. I would rather be in, you can say, in relation with you. And relationship can be from being neighbors, loving neighbors, supporting neighbors. We can look after one another, right? The only people that one Nigeria benefits are the rogues that want you and I as enemies, to remain as enemies. Again, my job is not to convince you, okay, to do the right thing. My job is to let you know that as long as you enable the lawlessness, the injustice in your own small way, for whatever promises you are given or connection you think you have with this one Nigeria, you are deluded. And that is why when some of you pick up enmity among yourselves, it's crazy, isn't it? That somebody will say, I hate Yorubas because of Thiefnubu. Man, I hate the Igbos because of Obi. I can kill this and so the Fulanis because of Bokohari. Oh, I can do all that stuff, right? What you are practically doing, my dear brethren, is that you are playing that game of my thief is better than your thief. My criminal is more honorable than your criminal. Okay? My own lawbreaker is somehow also a lawmaker, where a lot of you prefer your different oppressors. You love your oppressors differently. I do know that. That's why I don't make decisions for you. I'm not here to save you. I'm here to help you save yourself. Because a lot of you who are currently hating on yourself is simply because of this one fraudulent Nigeria. The same one you can't even point at what exactly is the citizens' benefit that you say, oh, as a Nigerian, no, you will die for Nigeria because it was Nigeria that black, the only people, even the criminals that are looting Nigeria, they can't die for Nigeria. You should know that. So why? Why should you think loving your oppressor is actually a way of saving yourself? Come on, man. Here, Koolu. I got a grip of what Koolu told the Qatar investors, and they have also, I don't know if you have seen the Bloomberg report. There's a Bloomberg report that says that Thiefnubu has attracted the $2 billion investors to Nigeria. But Bloomberg is quoting Akuri Nigalailai, as well as the Central Bank of Kadobi Oduduwa Emefiole. That's what Bloomberg American view is quoting. None of their quote says, oh, that 2.2 billion, no. These are the businesses that invested them. But they did say, all of now we talk say, go send money, go Nigeria. It be like say the shege where people they face in Nigeria has forced a lot of you to increase the money you are sending home. In January, the record showed that only $300 million totally entered Nigeria from all of you from the diaspora, all of us. But you know how much that entered Nigeria? When we said don't send your dollar, don't send your money directly to them, some of you still did. $1.3 billion was how much they managed to get from the diasporans who sent money to their family members in February alone. You are watching me. God see you, God see me. Because I send money too. When I was using the old rate, a bag of rice was at 35,000 naira. When they told me a bag of rice is now 70, 80,000 naira, I have to double the allowance. Even when they received the allowance, they were like, sorry, I said, I have to, you don't even need to ask. I've got my kids and I wouldn't probably love to see them on Facebook that they are hungry and they can't feed. You know what I mean now? So many of us are guilty. I said, don't send the money through them. Don't send it through any of their apps. Don't send your dollars anywhere. Look for somebody who will give them naira in that place and keep your dollar wherever you are. Because any money you give to them goes straight into their hands. And do you know what they do with the money? not to strengthen your economy at all. They just draw the plan of how to steal it. Here you get. But 1.3 billion from all of us in diaspora. Hey, me. 1.3 billion. I think it used to be more than that. You see that January, una really, tighten your wallet. 300 million to 1.3 billion. I don't know if I should believe them or maybe na bobo, because I don't believe these people. Bloomberg said that's how much money we sent to Nigeria in February. This is March now. And I don't plan how much you go send again. I'm not saying you shouldn't send money to your family and relatives, but please do not send that your money via any of their apps. Don't. Yes, your family will still get the money, but the dollar, they will get that. That's what they have been working on. They need the dollar, and this is not sustainable. They cannot sustain their economy waiting on freebies from us, dollars from us alone. Please cut it down. Send money, but don't ever send your hard currency from any part of the world that you are. Please don't. Don't help these criminals, because you are the one giving them the lifeline. When people ask, what is the solution? What should we do? We expect the system to force them to know what to do. Nobody is coming to save anybody. But a lot of us are saving them by subsidizing them like this. I know it's sad, it's tough, but there are measures to cut down how much you send through them. $100 million, yeah, give it to them. 200 million. Remember, the amount of money that the Nigerians in the diaspora sent to Nigeria now has increased from 36 billion US dollars to over 42 billion dollars. These guys are not asking for all of that money. They just want just 10% of the money. Maybe 4 billion, maybe 5 or 6 billion to just pass through their hand. You can send your money through elsewhere. And if you give them all of the money, you will be saving Koolu. They are counting on us. But you know something? If this was going to go into the economy of Nigeria to really help them, if they are going to actually stop the stealing and all of that, I wouldn't oppose it. Okay? But guess what? They are not going to do that. This money will be stolen. Every penny of it that comes through their hand is shared out among themselves. Give it different names, and it disappears. This is what they said he told the Qatari. In this absence, right? They do not have anything to back up their naira. An evidence that Oduduwa Emefiole, Kadobi, has been printing his own money. Take a look at this one. This one are the ones they printed this year. We have it on a good authority that Thiefnubu has printed over 7 trillion naira already. For the same way and means that Emefiole printed 27.5 trillion naira, $50 billion. The money that has now dipped Nigeria into hyperinflation, poverty, hardship, and all that. Now, the people that are blaming Emefiole for printing that amount of money in 8 years, they have printed at least 30% of that same amount of money that Emefiole printed for 8 years. Thiefnubu has printed that in just 10 months. By the time he's done with you in 8 years, now we borrow, now go to take the buy bread, to carry money to go buy bread. Do you understand? Now you must have been seeing these new notes. See, they haven't told Nigerians how much money they have printed, though. But they have been printing money. Emefiole did not tell you how much money he printed when Obaseki raised the alarm that Emefiole has been printing money and they have been sharing the money through the FAQ, which is the monthly allocation they give to states and local government areas. This money was supposed to be coming from VAT, as well as, forex that they hand from crude oil and others. But because Emefiole, Bokohari, Mamandaura, and the rest of all their thieving crew, because they have depleted every source of forex in Nigeria, they started printing money and they were sharing the money. 27.5 trillion naira, Baba, was the money Emefiole printed and gave to Bokohari. Today, Oduduwa Emefiole, Kadobi, has printed over 7 trillion in 10 months. Now, what will happen is that in 8 years, they will probably print more than 100 trillion naira. Let's go back to those people we spoke to in UAE. In Qatar. The people they said are bringing investment to Nigeria. What did he tell them? I found a full clip. This was days back. I promise you, please, or should I warn you, do not listen to this video like you are listening to somebody who is sane. This one is insane. It's not sane. But for the record, let's put it here. Waiting and tell them. Starting with this.
Ministers and other members from Nigeria. May I give thanks to His Excellency, the President, through you, for tremendous accommodation and welcoming cases that we faced since we arrived here. Great lunch this afternoon with him. It was my responsibility this afternoon is to tell you, the Qataris, that Nigerians are your friends. Open for business. Open for honest partnership. To assure you that the country as a whole, of over 240 million people, is ready and anxious to welcome you and your investment with open arms and open mind, to assure you that your investment is safe in our hands. We have men and women of great reputation here. I believe you forged a committee, established a good committee that will exchange ideas and continue the communication. 1 hour of my presence here is not as critical as continuity that you can establish in business partnership. A nation is an artificial entity unless we've good people to drive it and bring life into it. You are leaders of business community. If you drive confidence, that confidence will be realized and result in profitable opportunities. My background is in business. And that's why I'm here. To give you the assurance that reform is going on. Forget whatever you had in the past that is negative. Whatever is the obstacle or problem that some of you might have encountered in the past should be something of the past and no obstacle to the future. We have men and women of integrity seated across from you here to give you assurances that Nigeria is open for serious business. The reform that we've embarked on, we have with you here a man who has been here to receive recognition and award for anti-corruption, Sir Nuhu. Stand up, please. He was here, was all over the media, recognized for his anti-corruption stand. He's a senior member of this government, National Security Advisor. The point of contact, don't overbribe. And if it's taken from you, revert to us. Don't give. Don't let it be a problem from investing. Nigeria is serious about the revolution and evolution in business promotion that we have.
Nuisance lele. Nuisance lele.
What was that? Evolution and revolution in business revolution. Oh, more. See, Baba, do you remember when people used to, when you try to be outspoken, okay? Especially when you are addressing these nincompoops, right? These mofos that they call leaders in Nigeria. And then you will see some omoales, the unfortunate, what do you call it, sewage dwellers like that. They will just jump and say, where's your father? Where's your father? Go and bring your father out. To share your father. Can your father be president? My papa no be the one we promise you saying go give you Ingo fix Nigeria for you. In fact, my papa is dead. Okay? Leave him out of it. All right? If he was alive, if he was to be alive, he will continue to be the victims of the same system like your papa. Okay? So the same way your papa no promise anybody, saying go give birth to a foolish person like you, we no get sense. Is the same way my papa no be the one where be say you went to your INEC to go and thumbprint for. Face the people where you make leaders. Leave him alone. My ego leave him. No, I won't leave him alone. Olori Bruku, you no get sense. What happened is that you have criminals who have all it takes, right, to keep your lives a mess. And as the consequences of bad leadership is not limited to the ways that we defend them, so we won't leave them alone. Do you understand? They would have to leave us alone. And if they don't leave us alone, right? Now we'll get them, we will get rid of them at some point. We'll get rid of them at some point because their intention is to what? Is to get rid of us as much as possible. So don't be my papa saying go give you, Ingo protect you. You know, vote for my papa. So don't come here and be like, what has your father done for, what's your papa don't do for Nigeria? Some of you waiting your papa don't do. You are Bakus, Oshogbu Alimajiris. Other than for your papa and your mama to give birth to a waste of a vessel, a waste of space that will use their existence to promote, defend, and possibly even ready to die for their oppressors who won't kill them anyway. That's what your parents contributed to this society, and it's hurting us. I swear. Because now somebody born all some of you these on-boot slaves, sophisticated morons, people who can't really think. Now some people born you. See the problem we are in now. You wish that they can do some selective reproduction. You could just say this person say this one no get sense. No, castrated. It cannot reproduce. We can't allow this person to reproduce. We cannot afford a reproduction of this moron in our society. There will be no future. A lot of people that shouldn't reproduce. But God in his infinite mercy, they have reproduced millions, army of morons that are controlled by their bellies. Look at all of us now.
People that collected 500 naira, those that will collect 10,000 naira to wreak havoc in order to keep the rogues, to continue to perpetuate what they are perpetuating. And then businesses are being lost, you know, like that. Lives are being destroyed. All it took them is just to give them 1,000 naira to repeat the same thing every 4 years. Do you not think they are the threat to our national security and our lives? Eh? You understand that now? Like let's reason them now. Now some people born all these on-boot slaves now. These unity beggars. These one Nigerians. And some people born them. See the problem we are in now. Imagine say they don't do one child policy like China. You go see some foolish people. They have been foolish since birth. Now some of them have 5 children, 10 children. Look at Nigeria. Or do you think all of this is coincidence? So we need to work on that reproduction. Like you have to make sure that people will say they are waste of vessel, they are waste of what have you. What you do is that you castrate them and just make sure that they don't reproduce. It is to protect. It's to protect the future. Here is the other part. Sorry, did you learn anything at all from what Koolu said? Because I need to ask. Good. Now, whatever you learned from the first one, it's going to be similar to what you are going to hear in this concluding part. So this is what he told them in Qatar, for the record.
Free in, free out. Bring your investment. Whenever you are ready to go, your money is free to go out. I give you that assurance. I don't see how we cannot collaborate to improve the country's balance sheet, to recognize the wealth that both countries have in the ground. We have oil and gas. We have solid mineral. This solid mineral can be valued, put in your balance sheet as asset, and make a very good private investment opportunity for the two sides. I don't see why we are not exploring the iron ore and be great partners on steel production, energy that can be produced here in Africa. I'm here only to give you assurances in all spheres, housing, hospitality, tourism, many opportunities that are bound around us. We have to exploit it. And if you take advantage of all of these opportunities that is available, nowhere else will you find the greater rate of return that is available to you in Nigeria. Bring your investment. You are free of the burden of double taxation. Let's work together. I, as the president, am assuring you that your investment will be safe and you are free in and willing out whenever you are ready. Healthcare industry, hospitality industry, infrastructural investment. is available. My own is not to bore you with sermons. My own is to assure you that those investment opportunities are greater in Nigeria. And when you have highly educated, vibrant youth population that we have in the country, you have cheaper labor too. Healthcare is an advantage for investment for you. So please, let me stop here. Just one again, reassure all of you that we should set up a committee.
Nuisance lele. Nuisance lele.
A madman, eh? So I was telling my friends on TikTok, I said, listen, whatever you are going through in Nigeria right now, the architect of it is Koolu Thiefnubu. The world knows him. He is a drug dealer, who forfeited nearly $500,000 for heroin trafficking in America. He didn't deny it. The world knows him. Nobody is going to bring their investment into that place. I am saying this to you not because I do not want them to, but I do not want them to if I have my way. Because you know why? They will lose everything. Koolu was telling them there in that Qatar that don't worry, your money in, money out. Bring your money in and take your profit out. But the Were couldn't fulfill the same promise he made to them in UAE in August. He can't. He couldn't. They do not have any money to give to anybody. They've stolen it, squandered it. But if you want your money, they can go and print you some naira, carry them somewhere and see who can buy them from you and get your real money. They do not have any forex to pay. If you take your money to Nigeria, you will watch them use the money to buy themselves aircraft, ships, and the rest, yacht, and the rest of that. These are career criminals. And you shouldn't listen to me if you have some money to lose. You understand? Not just that, are you with me? Koolu the Jaga banditi was there, apart from begging and pleading like there, yeah, Jonah, please now, and the rest of that, okay? Koolu was asking the Qataris to come and invest in his oil and gas. Qatar is oil producing country. They've got oil and gas. What are you talking about? They want you gone. Possibly if you can become country that doesn't even have any oil anymore. It's to their own advantage. So like Nigerians who will go to Texas to go and buy finished product to bring to Nigeria to sell, Dangote, or who are going to go to other African countries, other places to go and buy crude oil that they will refine in Lagos by Dangote. Do you think that's exactly what the Qataris are? We have oil and gas, weary. Oil and gas, kill you, dear. And then, after all of all of that, I think they just felt like about just go with it and Richard. He was asking them for committee. Let us set up committee. He's asking for committee in Qatar, the typical Nigeria way, so that they can then bring some weirdos with pot bellies and say this is the chairman of the committee. Nigeria, Qatar trade bilateral trades to so and so. They don't add any value there. They do not want him. They never wanted him to come. The journalist that reported Thiefnubu said drug case in America was awarded honorary award to say, well done, good job. But they didn't do their homework well. So they packed their bags and took the Bulaba to Qatar. And again, you listened to him, did you? Or didn't you? So you can tell me what you learned from what Koolu said. Apart from the ones that you know are pure the job man lines. Nobody is bringing any of their money to that contraption. Even if you have juju, carry your juju man there to to convince them. All right. Well, it may be a different case too for fraudsters Otobokeyamo. Now, fraudsters Otobokeyamo was rewarded as the aviation minister, and Omolomo has been gallivanting all about, you know. And according to him, is signing deals with. I'll show you this one. He will tell you himself. Listen.
Understanding today between the French Civil Aviation University and our own African Aviation and Aerospace University called the AAAU. They've been existing for decades, and we are just a baby university, and I think we can gain a lot, by cooperating with them. So this is just a memorandum of understanding. We've not gone into details, but we have agreed to work together to exchange a lot of ideas and personnel in time to come as time goes on. And so today we are signing a preliminary agreement to work together. Thank you very much. Thank you. Make a speech?
If you want to, but I think it's Enac that should make the speech. No, the objective of this study trip, I think, has been reached, is to strengthen our relationship in the civil aviation field. So today we are signing MOU for the schools, and in the coming weeks we will sign a MOU between the Civil Aviation Authority to go further.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Understanding today.
Fraudsters Otobokeyamo. They're putting up a show. Those guys in the hall were like, we're just saying that maybe we can do school together. African Aviation School of University. They carry one of them. I don't know, maybe that guy who sat there that was about to sign for African University, where Otobokeyamo did the back as a big man. The guy, if he be one of his PAO, the people that they gave job to be carrying bag after them, they say, sit down there, you will sit down, you will sign it. I'm the boss, I'm the minister. And they will tell everybody, I'm a minister, like, Anyway, he visited the what's that one called? I think Airbus 300 or something. What do you call that aircraft manufacturer in France? France does manufacture passenger aircraft. What do you call Airbus? Anyway, you do know what I'm saying, right? He visited there, took some pictures, and told Nigerians that he's going into collaboration with them. You won't buy plane? Otobokeyamo, you won't buy plane. I'll be waiting, you won't do. Adis Sirika, the last guy before him, right? We know what that one did. That one had to go and hire Ethiopia airline that they have to paint Nigerian flag on it. And it deceived the entire country, 200 million mumus. And there's nothing that happens. So Otobokeyamo is currently putting up a different show like that too. Trying to say, we are meeting this. Take pictures with Oyibo. Yeah, let us sign. Let us sign the agreement. Yeah, we have signed agreement. Nigeria and France agreement. Nigeria and American Aviation agreement. I do not know how this indeed really benefits anyone, but they are all over the place looking for different photo ops to show you, just to show that they are working. But when you go out there, you come back to say, man, this life is becoming unbearable. It is already unbearable for many. So yes, that is the situation. And finally, the wife to Thiefnubu, that is Remi Werekwe, had this to say concerning the kidnappings that just took place in the last few days. According to her, check her composure, check others who are with their pancaked faces, looking like they are like mannequins that just got just got their lipsticks on, right? Look at their faces.
Whoever is kidnapping young people is sick, cruel, and a coward. Yes. Enough is enough. And I call on the state governors that once we take hold of them, they deserve capital punishment. Why don't they take people their size? Why are they torturing our children? What they are doing is trying to kill our future. We all know parents, when we are old, we rely on our children, and we see them that our investment has not gone to waste, especially when they're successful. Why would you go and take them from schools? Why? I don't really know. But right now, I think enough is enough. As a former lawmaker, I believe that any one of them captured deserve capital punishment. Yes. I say it, and I believe most mothers would believe that. Yes. We carry them for 9 months. When you are giving back, you don't know whether you are going to live or die. Yes. And you don't watch what you love being snuffed away. I watched a lion having cubs. Just going there to look at the cubs, I see how territorial we are. You can't even touch their children. And once they know they're big enough, they can smell you, they don't want you around them. If animals can do that, what about us? So they are animals, they are evil, and then we should take them out among our midst. Wherever.
Nuisance lele. Nuisance lele.
Emi talking like her husband. Remy clown. She's there sounding as if to say her husband is not the commander-in-chief of your Fulani Republic of Nigeria, by the way. So she's there trying to make a narrative that somebody like you will make, okay, and say, no, they are animals. How can they go to the schools and kidnap school children? Eh? We are all mothers. I am a mother. Eh? And when you are pregnant with these children, or you're pregnant with them, you don't know if you are going to live or if you are going to die. In fact, I'm going to say it now. Any of them that is captured, they deserve capital punishment. Yes, ma. Capital punishment. Yes, ma'am. How can somebody just go and, you know what I mean? That's just that. You can't compare that with this, Abi. We're Peshe. I played that this afternoon. I'm going to do it again before I go to the next thing.
Shay, help us, help us. There is God, There is God, God. God should descend, today God will descend here. Nigerian women will not cry in vain. Nigerian women will not cry in vain. This thing will end today. My sisters, if your child lost, will you stay and keep quiet? Will you people stay and keep quiet? The president now is calling you, come, I want to help you. You don't want to appear. Will you agree? No. Now the first lady is calling you, come, I want to help you. Come to find your child, your missing child. Will you keep quiet? No. Child, there is God, There is God, The bloods we are sharing, there is God, There is God, There is God, There is God, There is God,
It's okay.
Mama P. Peshe. Confessor Wole Soyinka when he had his tongue, before his tongue got cut off. Confessor Wole Soyinka defending or fighting for the supposed, the Nigerians, right? The confessor had several press conferences, and in one of them, he dedicated the entire press conference to this woman. And he called her Hippopotamus. This was the time when the infection of change. Because it wasn't change, it's change. When they were putting the hands of Nigerians into that shackles of generational poverty. Change. Confessor called that woman hippopotamus, and her husband, Nebuchadnezzar. Yeah, that's why he called them. He said Jonathan is an evil person. That Jonathan will not just die, he won't die, he will turn to an animal that will enter bush and nobody will see him again, as Nebuchadnezzar did. And as for hippopotamus, well, probably confessor expected the hippopotamus to return back into water. This was the movie. I mean, those were like the mad time. All because everybody wanted APC to do this to you. Today, they are denying the same thing they defended. But they are also repeating the same thing they once defended, now denying. They are repeating the same thing now. They will still deny too. Well, lives would have been lost then, unfortunately. But the good part is that finally we will see Sowore with his family from tomorrow. Sowore will return to, Sowore is probably on his way to the United States as you are watching this video. By the time you are watching the replay of this video, Sowore would have been with his family in the US. That's some great relief, especially for so many of you who have been so concerned how the family has been coping in his absence. His absence of trying to go and fight for the people that will join hands to demand for his death. They were asking for his life. The people he went to say, oh, we are going to fight for our country. I bet that was what the intention of Sowore was and possibly still is. Sowore, I bet, probably had a sleep, a nap, and then he woke up and he was like, I'm done. I'm going to Nigeria to go and rescue Nigeria. That's what I would think. And possibly called his wife and his daughters. Girls, come here. Daddy is going to be away. And but I will be in touch. How long are you going to be away for, Dad? I do not know. Because I am going back to Nigeria to go and fight oppression and mobilize Nigerians and free ourselves. I bet that was his conviction. That was why he ran for president in 2019. And he did so well that he managed to rally, especially us in the diaspora, towards this. Sowore was one of those who made some of you believe that you could actually participate in their politics physically and otherwise. He did that. People don't usually have interest. Like, nah. You started seeing people, they travel back home, say they won't go vote. We started that with Omoyele Sowore. We did. But what happened at the end of the day was that the oppressed Nigerians themselves, they love their oppressors more. They were calling for Sowore. They were calling Sowore. They were actually laughing at him. And some made it their lifetime goal to ensure that Omoyele Sowore will never be seen as a potential leader in that contraption. There are those who make it their own lifetime. In fact, they were calling for his mother, all because he was asking the government that is making their lives hell to stand up or get out. So he was kidnapped on trumped-up charges. His travel documents were taken from him, and he was subjected to the brutality, the lawlessness of the Nigeria's justice system. They wanted him dead. Policemen the police hate him. Those who are supposed to protect him, they hate him. They want him dead. The soldiers, the military, they want him dead. Their own DSS, they want him dead. Every one of them, they want him dead or locked up for life. All because he did absolute nothing but asking for equity, justice, and fairness in a system, in a country where Nigerians are not seen as Nigerians. They are being treated daily like they are slaves in their country. So Sowore possibly woke up in that New York house his New York house, and he was like, I'm going to Nigeria to rescue, to fight. And that journey lasted, including jail time, illegal jail time, and denial of their own court judgment. And finally, he has the chance of seeing his family. It doesn't matter how you see the whole thing. That is the story I just told you now. You might have your own version of it. Fine. Whatever makes you sleep at night. You can flow with it. So sure, this time, we do not know, maybe it's just a temporary hibernation. If right now he is still convinced, because I still think it does, he still feel convinced that he could encourage you to liberate yourselves, become revolutionaries and all that. That's his personal conviction. But I am happy that for the first time, I am not going to be worried of waking up with any breaking news about Sowore. You don't know. There are so many people that every time I go to bed, I do not want to wake up and get the breaking news about them, because I know that contraption, Nigeria. So now I'm going to go to sleep and I won't have to worry. While we believe that the system is trying to and change some section of narratives, even though they do not have the political will to do that, okay? We have seen Oloye Sunday Igboho freed from the Bokohari's jihadist regime's illegality and injustice so far. And we have seen that of Omoyele Sowore as well. We would love to see that of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in the next 2 weeks. It's actually less than 2 weeks. If today is 8, it's just about 8 days or 9 days away. Okay, it's more than that, 11 days. On the 19th of March is when we believe an innocent man that has been locked up will be freed. And those of you, the Abobakus, the ombud slaves, the sophisticated morons, Aslika crumb beaters, and the rest of you, it will happen. And yes, the righteous will assemble, and the Nigeria you see today, you shall see no more soon. I'll leave it at that. And I'm going to go make myself another cup of tea. When I get back, I will take calls, I promise. So we are not leaving it at that tonight, okay? I will take calls. Or if you have been with me all night, please take a moment and still like the video. Share it if you haven't. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't as well. And when I get back, I will take calls. And that could be yours. Pick up your phone. Thank you very much, everyone, for keeping it real and still there, okay? I do have a caller, and my first caller tonight is going to be the doctor, the incoming senator, Dr. Agbede.
God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. God bless. Hey, don't worry. I'm doing some underground something here. So that was why. They're all classified. Yeah.
Right.
So that's why. So
it's good to hear from you again tonight, Baba. Go on.
Happy Friday, and to the rest of the Temple of Truth. Yes. Temple of Truth. Now, number one, I would say congratulations to Sowore. In fact, these are the people just like you that they will say something and they put action to it. Action to it, not talk. Just like about a few minutes ago when I was listening to you, when some people are saying, Mayegu, you just talk. Let them go and try it through. Let them use their own private capacity.
At least you should be doing something. Don't wait for anybody to do it for you too. You too, do something.
Exactly.
That's how everything
just like me now.
Together. Nobody is coming to rescue anybody. Nobody is anybody's messiah. Nobody is anybody's savior.
God bless
if you can't save yourself,
God bless you.
Then just wait jejely and perish.
They just thought it is very easy. They say, can you to stop them? It's not easy to stop them. It's not easy. They should go and ask Sowore. It's not easy. Last year, during the United Nations,
realize that if you are fighting the oppressors, you cannot use your two hands. You have to use one hand to fight the oppressors and use the second hand to guide yourself from the oppressed. Who are going to be asking you, shall we send you work? Did we tell you to fight for us? Did we tell you to call? Who sent you? Nobody sent you. Stop fighting our leaders. Stop. Sowore was the one who told me that.
Let me tell you something. Last year, during the United Nations General Assembly, you know that I used my power capacity to stop Tinubu from seeing what's called it Biden. In fact, what follows after? Tinubu calls me, say Agbede. I'm telling you, say Agbede.
He finally knows that you are on the temple. You are part of the Temple of Truth, right?
Just wait. He said Agbede. Why are you saying all these things now? Why are you stopping that? You think maybe you want to push shame upon him, but you are putting shame upon Nigeria in a totality. So it's not good now because that something was cancelled. Was cancelled at the 10 minutes. Cancelled because meanwhile, Amina J. Mohammed, she was the one that feeding them wrong information. Not until I told the Biden that no. What Amina J. Mohammed was feeding you was totally wrong.
Wow.
Totally wrong. That was why that thing was cancelled. That was the meeting with Joe Biden was cancelled at the last minute. Was cancelled.
So Joe Biden asked you to stand for bringing it to his attention. If not, it would have been something else. So no wonder he didn't see him.
Yes. So that was why. So each of us should use our private capacities to stop them. Not that I don't know that can stop them. I don't stop them. So no. Each of us.
Do your thing. Do mine. Do this. Everything will come together later. Thank you very much, Doctor.
God bless you. So that's it for today.
God bless you. It's really great to hear from you. Keeping it up, sir. And take it easy. That is a Dr. Agbede. I need to get this my audio muted so that it won't be interfering in what in our course you will say. Anyway, the line is still pretty much opened, okay, and I do have another caller here.
Anyway, the line is still pretty much
hello there, can you hear me?
Hello, am I good?
Hello, sir. Baba, how are you?
I'm fine. I've been trying to get you, like in this your program, we are the ancestors that trying to follow you since 2012 from the kitchen. I don't know how to thank you.
God bless you. Finally,
I say we are the ancestors. Yeah. So I don't know how to thank you. The problem, sometimes I do ask my friends, do you follow Mayegu? all these stupid Nigerians. Do you follow Mayego? Some will ask me who is Mayego. I would think, guy, you're missing a lot. You know, the problem where we Nigerians or the zoo, if I may use Nnamdi Kanu word, is that we forgot to learn.
That's right.
We forgot to learn. And we don't want to be educated. We don't want to know, we don't want to get the proper information, how society or how a nation should be run. I know Nigeria is not a nation, but let me just call it a nation. And I want to tell you, some of your audience, let us try to see the path that let us stop promoting one Nigeria. Promoting it something that you know it's not going to work. Promoting Nigeria is not going to work. There's no two ways about it. It's better we start promoting
one Nigeria, right? You have to lie to promote one Nigeria. That's one thing everybody knows.
Of course.
Because you cannot be honest and promote one Nigeria. It's not possible.
I see some people going to your program. I know it's their opinion, but they try to say Nigeria work. Something you know with your deep heart that this thing is not going to work. No. Because I feel more secure that as an Igbo man, maybe from Imo State, a commissioner of police will be from Imo State, or even we have the same language. Likewise, a Yoruba man in Lagos or Ogun State, a commissioner of police will come from that Yoruba tribe that can speak that language, that we know the culture of Yoruba people. So how can somebody from Zamfara State will come to my state and be a commissioner of police, start, demonizing my culture?
That's impossible.
Yeah, demonizing everything about me. And I try to let our people, I know this guy, I trying to call since Gowon make that nasty statement about Igbo civil war. And some people still carry the information that Ojukwu caused the war. No. We have an agreement in Aburu, Ghana, and they stand against our agreement. And in the military rank, I am your senior, and me and you agree how to make this in favor me and favor you, and you go contrary to our agreement. Then I say no, that Aburi will stand, and nobody in Nigeria want to ask this question.
The next way we go here on top say Aburi will stand though. They just fire the first rocket from Benue State,
and
Benue Hill,
and they call me,
and the war started.
He called me a rebel because I say this is what we are agreeing on. So my brother, my prayer. Let me tell you my prayer for Nigeria. I know nobody wants to hear it. I want that war to burst. Then people will remain. If they want to stay together, let them decide. If they don't want to, because the things are getting out of hand. People die, there are fought war in Ukraine like 2 or 3 years. The people that die in Nigeria, people are dying in Nigeria that people claim there is no war. Never reach that people that die where they are fighting war. So let us not pretend that we are at war already. Let us allow that war to start. So if we will leave, let's know we are going to leave. Because I'm not safe. If I come down to Nigeria, I can't travel down to my village anymore. So why not fight that war? It's enough. The thing is getting to my nose. I don't know what to do else. I'm trying to call in your program to contribute because I'm really getting upset when people call and say we keep on hoping that Nigeria, even Peter Obi cannot do anything.
Yeah, but like you said,
Peter Obi cannot do anything.
Let them say.
Yeah, I know, my brother. And I know it's not that easy. You take your time to educate, but my anger is our youth. I know you cannot do it the way Nnamdi Kanu did it, trying to get upset when he tried to educate people. I know you're taking it easy for people to be educated. Like we have followed Nnamdi Kanu. I've been following you since 2012. So I know it cannot be. I know even you're upset. You're already upset. Because when you're trying to educate people, even educate your people that is Yoruba, they are finding it difficult to know that Tinubu cannot do anything to us.
He can't.
So my brother, I know it's not easy, but I give your wife credit for allowing you to such program. It's not that easy. I must be honest.
Thank you so much.
I must be honest. Thank you, my brother.
When I see veterans like yourself, right? Apart from the fact that you are happy that for 12 years I am still holding forth and I'm still firm, right? There are many people like yourself that are so proud of my progress, because to them I have improved so well from that time. I was in the kitchen. I used to be so angry. I used to be always angry. Angry and you know that. But later I realized that there are several ways I could actually pass that message along, discover other angry people like yourself, and tell ourselves that until we all agree to break ourselves out of this shit hole, right? We do not have anywhere to go then until we all agree. And we will agree. So, Baba, God bless you, okay, for also keeping faith too, okay? Thank you so much. You should have a good evening or good morning, because that is a call from, you know, I believe it's going to be a call from either India. It didn't say India or Qatar, I would say. Thank you so much. Now, for those who are still asking, where's the number? The number is on your screen. It's that same number. You could use that for you could call directly, or you could call in through the WhatsApp. It's up to you, right? But the most important part is that take a moment and like the broadcast. That shows that maybe this is somehow you are connected to this chart. And yes, thank you so much for what do you call it? For that. Emma, then you remember now, like I used to be very angry. I mean, you know, when people come around and say, you know, Mayegun, I love your program, but is it possible for you not to be cursing people? Or is it possible for you not to blah, 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 blah? And I'm like, my dear, is it possible for you not to be politically correct, please? Because whatever I say on my platform, they are as factual as you can get. Except if you are a closet supporter, defender of the oppressors or beneficiary of from the wrath, no matter what I say or how I say it, should ever get you upset to the point that you want to correct me on how you think I should address criminals who don't give a shit about anybody. So except you are a closet admirers of theirs or supporter, but pretending not to be, and you are the type that is a unity beggar, can you please not be politically correct around Mayegun? Because if I figure out that you are trying to guide how I talk about these rogues, I will consider you as one of those who are trying to use their political correctness to gag me. And I do not like people who try to gag me. Anybody who tells me to be careful when I'm talking about the rogues, it doesn't mean that you like me. It doesn't mean that you love me. You're only trying to shut me up. That's the way I see it. So such unsolicited advice, you can keep them to yourself. Do not advise somebody like myself when I am talking about these rogues. Because a lot of us actually know what we are doing. And we do know the people we are dealing with. These guys are murderers, killers. We do know. So care for yourself. A lot of you who are their direct victims, care for yourself. Because some of us know what the end goal will be. And the end goal of bad government is no other thing than destruction, backwardness, even death. And some of us believe that. Before that becomes our portion, we will raise awareness. And if possible, we will raise an army of intelligent people that also would never want this to happen to them or their own succeeding generations. The choice is yours. Do not, can you please, not be politically correct around me, because I do not like people who hide behind the finger in order to gag me. Mayegun, you need to be very careful. Mayegun, I'm just advising you. You know, I'm one of your supporters. I'm one of your fans. I love you so much, but you see that thing you said about Adeboye, or that thing you said about the Oyedepo, or that thing you said about this and that. Mayegun, that is too much. Let us be honest, let us show this or that. So it is advised that do not be politically correct around me. I am a well-trained young man. And in my training, in my upbringing, they told me I should never bow my head for any known criminal if I am not one.
in my own tribe or ethnic nationality from my own nation, Yoruba land, we believe that if a thief is dressed in gold or golden loin, gold chains, golden shoes, walking on golden floor or golden ground, driving golden Rolls Royce, as a Yoruba man, when you see a thief, it doesn't matter how fancy or how rich it looks, it will still be a thief. The ideal thing is never to bow down for a thief, even if he's offering you a plate of porridge. Because a thief doesn't own anything. Don't you get it? A thief is a thief. A thief is somebody who actually steals from others. Whatever you see on a thief is not his. He stole it. How could you respect people who steal from others just to make themselves look better or look fancy? From where I come from, we do not respect people like that. Young or old. Even though for years, they have done everything to make sure that we worship money. And indeed, there are people who are worshiping money in my own society, in our society. There are still those who still hold on to the moral ethics of what an Omoluabi mean. I will not bow down for thieves, young or old. Do you understand? That is my own upbringing. Now, I don't need your advice. When I am talking about thieves, I may not be a saint, but I'm not a thief. Okay? I do not steal from people and dip them in mysteries like these criminals are doing. I do not need your advice. I do not need your opinion. You're either with me or against me, which is all right. Do not hide behind, I am only advising you, because that's the way I treat people who try to be politically correct around me. They have called me arrogant. They've said I had no respect. They said I feel proud. A lot of people say a lot of things. All this don't move me. But never tell me to be careful when I'm talking about these rogues. Kajiko? I have a caller. Sorry, my caller has been making effort to join, and then, I think you should try now, because that's the way I do my things, right? When I have something to say, I say them the way I feel like saying them. Okay? And if you are new on Mayegun's Diary Political, I hope you get used to that. Thank you. So I'll take this one. Here. Hello there.
Mayegun Baba.
How are you today?
Baba Mayegun, Egbon Mayegun to show Omo Jebu.
Oh yeah, to Gara Oniomi.
Baba Mayegun, I am very lucky to join your program today. See, Baba Mayegun, am I down? Don't answer them. Let them say whatever they want to say.
So that you go no person where they go no person where they deal with. Share you guys so that we don't get misunderstanding.
It is good. It is good. It is good. You've been telling them the same thing for the past 12 years. Now we are in 2024. Their suffering has now gone from regular to pro, extra, pro max. And they have not seen anything yet. It is true. Look, you've been doing your preaching for the past 12 years.
I have.
And there are some people, they are just like that, in that same spot. They did not move one step forward, or they did not even move any one step backward. They are just there. There are some people, they have gone back 12 years backwards. Why their political leaders that is lying to them have gone 24 years forward with all their money that they have embezzled and stole from them. And the ones that are still there in that same spot for the past 12 years that you've been preaching your gospel, they don't have no headway to even go 1 year forward. To make their year 13.
People after their life, people against their life. But they are still pointing to them that you see those village people, they think say they do you. No, they are not. Now they do yourself. Defending these roads. And if you're not defending them, it is ideal to know your enemies, to know the evil spirit after your life. Now your politicians.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That will bring my point to my conversation of today for me calling in.
Oh yeah, now, Baba.
You see, Nigeria, I don't even have problem with the Nigerians per se. The people that I have problems with in that Nigeria, there are only two sets of people.
And these are the people, the rich class, which are the politicians, and the second people are the religious leaders, which is the pastor and the fake imam and the fake pastor and the fake babalawo that are lying to the citizens. But religion, to me, the biggest problem of Nigeria of today, it is religion. It is religion. The biggest problem. Religion has done so many damage to Nigerians. It is unrepairable. Even though if Jesus Christ come from heaven today, Jesus cannot repair it. Muhammad cannot repair it. Moses cannot repair it. Even God himself cannot repair it. No. That is how bad it is. How permanent. Because, if an armed robber is robbing a bank and one idiot is recording the video to share to the world, he's over there screaming, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. What is Jesus' business with the bank robbery that is going on? What is the business of that Jesus Christ? If terrorists is attacking somewhere, and somebody is recording, you will hear one idiot who say, Subhanallah, Subhanallah. What is Muhammad's issue with the terrorists that is attacking innocent civilians? If citizens of a country rely so much on imaginary beliefs, that is the result of Nigeria. Nigeria, there is nothing, there is no magician on this continent, on this planet, that can solve Nigeria's issue. I'll tell you something. Because religion has eaten so deep. See, part of what you are religion has eaten so deep into the edge of Nigerians that if they see one cup of rice, they will bring out their Bible and read from Genesis to Revelation. That God has done everything for them. And they don't know that God did not do anything. It is the hard work of your hand that made you to see that rice that you are eating. If you stand on the soil and you do not put a beans or a maize or anything on the floor, you can pray from January to December. There is no corn that will appear in front of you. If you don't plant that corn on the soil, nothing will appear. But Nigerians will believe that if they pray and their pastor give them one punchline in the Bible, God will send palliative from heaven. And they have been using these things for centuries and centuries and centuries. But I've got to this United States of America since 2010. As soon as I touch soil on the surface of America, I have never entered mosque one day in my life.
There are so many people like that. I mean, they were even doing program on it and say, how come that Nigerians there are programs where they are saying they are interviewing Nigerians, trying to find out how come Nigerians that are so close to God, when they are in Nigeria, the moment they leave Nigeria, they barely get closer to God anymore. Because in Nigeria, getting closer to God is going to church to scream. They are doing a program on that, trying to figure out why all of them know they go mosque again. All of them know they go church again.
Everybody receive common sense. That is the answer. Common sense is what everybody receives. There is no grammar. No, you don't even need to bring any grammar. It is common sense. When you have common sense, things will shine to you and show to you in a right way.
That's right.
In me, there is no pastor that can tell me that, oh, bring your 10% offering and put it in a jar. When I know that outside that church, when I know vividly well that outside that church, there is a blind man on the street that has not eaten for the past 1.5 days. And in that same Bible, God said, help your neighbor as yourself, for you shall seek the kingdom of heaven. So why am I giving my 1,000 naira to a pastor that is wearing Gucci suit, and there's a blind man outside that church that has not eaten for the past 2 days?
You know, the saddest part, Baba, is when they threaten you that something evil will happen to you if you don't give them money.
They always threaten me. They always threaten me every time.
If you don't give, Baba, there's a saying in Nigeria, they will say, if you don't pay tithes, things will be tight. You ever heard that before?
So many times. If you don't pay tithes, your pocket will be
lines that they pull out there, and it has been working. You said it yourself. It has been working for decades on people, and it's
decades it has been working. To me, but to me as an individual, To me, that is the problem of Nigeria. Why? Because if Nigeria gets released from the arms of religious bondage, these Nigerians will get up and chase their oppressors.
They will.
Because why? If a governor steals something, or a president commits something, or a commissioner, or a chairman, or a local government, or something, somebody in the political distance do something, the same Nigerians will go to church on Friday and Sunday. They will preach to them to relax. God will do it. And they know that the beginning of the week, according to the white man calendar, is Monday. For Nigeria, for people to go to work. Now,
in Yoruba land, we call it Ojo Aje. It's similar to the day you work.
But that is why we need to go back to our source. Biafra must come. Yoruba nation must come. We have to. Everybody has to go back to their tent.
Yes.
In Biafra land, right? Every Monday, even though in Lagos, right? I have so many Igbos that they were our neighbors. They rented house from us. You know, my dad is very close to them, and I have so many Igbo friends when I was growing up back in Lagos, in Iwaya area. I have so many Igbo. I have so many Igbos as friends. Every morning, whenever they are going to their shops on Monday morning, right? If we are on like a school holiday, right? That we're not going to school, our Igbo neighbor will be the one that drive us to his own shop. So we'll go play with his children. All of us play. We don't have anything to do on Monday. There's nothing in there. There's no assignment. So we drive. We go to their shop.
Giving them and dear.
But this is the reason why. This is the reason why I will never have any hate against the Igbos. The foolish Yorubas that are fighting Igbo blindly. They are the dumbest people on the planet. Let me short my story short. When we go to the shop, right? This is the beauty about the Igbos. Before they open their shop in the morning, anybody that knows Lagos Island very well, Ali Street by Tinubu Square, all of them will gather. They will bring a bell and they will sing praise and worship for almost 2 hours before they open their business.
That's true. I have seen that many times.
They will sing praise and worship for like 2 hours. After singing that praise and worship, anyone that just came from the village to Lagos that needs like help, then they will say like, Nnamdi, you let him start working for you. Oh, Chidi, come over here. This one is gonna be working under you. Train him. That is how they raise each other. And it's not just Igbo, they raise other Yorubas too. They'll say, Kunle, you follow Nnamdi. Nnamdi will be your boss.
Yorubas who are standing in as middlemen for some of these shops. They speak Igbo, they speak Yoruba. Like you'll be wondering, are you Yoruba?
God bless you.
Or you can tell that they probably spent half of their lives, right, with their Igbo friends.
God bless
and
you.
now here they are, running business together.
God bless you.
Things too.
God bless you. God bless you. And now, with that mentality, right, everybody was living it, but this religion, but am I going? Nigeria, we have
that concept.
Some religions. We have to.
Some people have been able to plant this division politically. I've told people already anyway.
Politically and religiously, not just politically alone. Politically and religiously, they have. Look at what the pastor is saying in the church. Look at what a pastor is saying in the church. That I forget exactly what that pastor said. That he was saying that a Yoruba man, something, I've destroyed the country or something like that. What was this pastor when Buhari was destroying the country?
I know.
And now he's telling his congregation, he's already putting the seed of hate inside his congregation. Now,
Nigeria, Yoruba destroyed Nigeria now.
Exactly. Now, that millions of congregation, that millions of congregation, right? They will leave that church on that Sunday and go into the economic business on Monday, and they will start hating each other. Where's the progress? You see what religion has done? Religion has destroyed Nigeria beyond repair. Religion has destroyed Nigeria beyond repair. And a lot of people don't talk about it. Me, I don't have problem with
all these people. A lot of people are so scared to even talk about it. That's the problem.
When people start looking in the direction of religion, you will see what religion has done. Religion has done a lot damage, more than repair.
Thank you, Brother Mayegun, for giving me this opportunity.
You have done well, Baba. Thank you so much for actually adding that to the convo tonight. A lot of people are afraid of even touching anything religion. I'm glad a lot of you are not like them, okay?
Because they feel like one God is going to come from heaven to come and slap them.
Nobody's coming from anywhere to save anybody.
God is not coming anywhere.
No.
God is not coming anywhere.
God bless you.
Thank you,
Take it easy, Baba, okay? You have a good one.
Yes, sir.
I do have another caller on the line. I want to believe this is Paul. Is that you?
Hello.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Mayegun. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Baba. How are you?
I'm fine.
Great.
How is the family?
Well, we are here, surviving it. What? And how is yours?
I'm fine, Mayegun. I'm doing well. Doing well. This is Paul.
Bless you. I know. Go on, Baba.
I want to thank you for everything that you've been doing, and I want to really appreciate one of the callers that called earlier. You spoke about the kitchen, so I was laughing when he was speaking about the kitchen. What even made me laugh was that some people don't even know that you are not even as abusive as you used to be. That one has even toned down a lot.
People don't know that. It actually took me a while to actually get used to talking like this because I felt like, I could reach more people. But back then, there's those who loved me. Those who loved me for that fire for fire. I go cause everybody from start to finish. I think
back then
I'm also getting older now too.
Back then we should have been called
my anger now in a way that
I
may just be wearing a smile. That doesn't mean that I'm kind of it's funny or I'm happy or so. No. Wearing that smile is a way of me showing that, man, I've once been a very mad dog. But here we are.
Exactly, Mayegun, because the shows back then since 2012 to like 17, 18 was, in short, those episodes should actually be called Mayegun Uncensored.
We used to even have that, Mayegun Uncensored. Maybe I will tell everybody from the beginning, if you know you are the type that don't like some ways people don't watch me or leave now.
Exactly. Mayegun, I just wanted to quickly buttress what one of my brothers said that called in. He was talking about, he emphasized a lot on religion.
Yes.
And if you remember clearly, I've always said that too, that religion has been one of the, if not the main, because if you look at beyond the politics, when the politicians, when they find somewhere, when they are looking for a cover, when they are looking for somewhere to hide under, they quickly hide under religion. Religion has always been the safest. Then the next one is tribe.
Yeah, tribal, this ethnic.
You understand? But religion has always been the number one shield. Like if you look at the North now, the northern politicians, religion has always been the number one shield.
It is.
They go straight and hide under religion. And once they hide under religion, immediately they are spotless. You can't find them again, or you can't see them again. You can't find their faults again.
They easily just cover them up, and they're about to become
exactly.
The battle of everybody share faith with them.
I love the enthusiasm of that, my brother. But he made a comment there that I disagree with. Because we know the problem now. Our conscience and some consciousness has been open to it. Doesn't mean we should downplay the omnipotence of God. We should downplay the omnipotence of Olodumare. No, we can't be making statements like God cannot fix it. No, that is wrong. We are downplaying might. Yes. That's why we Yorubas, we call him Olodumare. He can do whatever he wants. He does whatever he pleases. So please, don't use your passion. Don't use your anger to downplay his omnipotence, please. I understand your feeling. I understand the pain. I feel the same. The same way, if you can ask my ego, there is no time I call. I always emphasize on religion. Yes. Religion is what has really crippled Africa, not even just Nigeria. So I just wanted to make that point, Mike. I don't want to take time so that others can call in. Thank you.
Paul. Yes, go on.
So that's just the point I wanted to make, my
right.
So
you've made your point and all that. That's great, Paul. Thank you so much for calling in. Okay, and then you have a wonderful evening. I know it's already morning there, right? So thank you so much, Paul. Okay. And then
thank you,
I do have a business, unfinished business, by the way, but I promise you, I've always been on top of it. Okay, I will get back to you.
No problem, my
nice,
no problem. I trust you.
Let's have another person on. I do have my brother. I believe Adeola. That must be you. Is that you?
Baba, I'm here. Now, very quick fire one.
How are you doing?
I think I hope, Baba, I'm okay. Hopefully, I will not stay too long on this particular occasion. I think what I was just going to say regarding the clip you showed about Tinubu trying to cajole the Qatari investors, for me, I think it was very cringing. It was a very cringing moment. And the reason why I said that is because these people are trying to build a world whereby they will not live in. And they're not, taking into account the people that will live after them. So you are, how can I best describe this? They are trying to build a world whereby they will not live in. And they're not looking inwards, first of all. They're not looking inwards to support the young talent in that contraption. Honestly. They're always looking outwards. And the cringing moment for me was when he mentioned the word balance sheets, trying to load, their investment, the external investors, balance sheet with the valuable resources, the mineral resources. Nigeria. That was for me a cringing moment. Like why would you want to load?
We should be offering them something they don't have. Don't go and offer them gas and oil and gas. Like, man, come on, man.
It's not even the oil and gas, Baba. Right. It's all the precious metals, all the rare earth metals. You want to load the investors. You want to load the investors' balance sheet as some form of currency, because if you cannot, because when you invest in countries, some countries are very hard to invest. So what happens is that you would want to put some insurance in place because of some few risks like currency inconvertibility, whereby you're not able to convert the currency that you brought in back and withdraw your money away. So those risks do lie in some countries that are not as developed or liquid enough. So you put those measures in place, but not in a case whereby you have, in human capital whereby you don't need to look outwards, or you just need to look inwards. And it's the old school and it's the old guard, modus operandi that you're always exhibiting. And for me, it was a cringing moment. You want to load the Qataris' balance sheet with our own rare earth, resources, our own, valuable resources, whereby you can make use of it. Any country that does not master the use of their own resources, using their human capital,
always ready to
sell
and sell them off and give us finished products. That kind of thing, right?
Exactly, because no matter how you view that contraption, it is the only place in the world, I said it before, that you can ever find human capital and natural resources in the same time and space. And if you have human capital and natural resources in the same time and space, you should never look outwards. People only look outwards if they lack one or the both. You don't ever look outwards. If you have, so outwards means you're even.
See, Adeola, it is simply put that as we can confirm, these guys have no real use for the human resources that Nigeria has.
No, they don't.
Except for election. They do not have any use for them.
They don't see any value. There isn't any value for the Nigerian human capital. And it is so sad because the same Nigerian human capital you so much look down on are the ones thriving in diaspora. It's the same human capital that that are thriving outside that you constantly neglect. They never look inwards. There's never a Marshall Plan. There's never any clear plan to hand over our resources to our people to master. If you cannot master how to use lithium, you cannot master how to use cobalt, you can't master how to use coltan and start deploying them. That is the real, because if an external investor, you will only come in, you have no loyalty, you will only want to make a profit by all means necessary. You will leave that country poorer. No country will ever bring their resources and
give
open
it to outsiders and say, take.
Baba, even the IP, it's the same problem US had with China under IPs. They would open a factory in China, US open factory in China, but they would not nest the IP in a Chinese company. It's not
because America is a really strong and already established institution or system. Do you know that decades of trying to game the system in America, cheap labor, moved so many American businesses to Asia?
It tagged us cheap labor.
And get what the Asians benefited from that. They benefited from the expertise that American companies were bringing to them. And they retain those expertise in their countries. China can build just anything today.
Baba the paragon. Cheap labor. He referred to us as cheap labor.
Of, how this wastage of human capital resources or so actually mean in true essence of it. If America knows strong, do you know how many steel companies, all these different factories, manufacturing companies that left America? Because Americans who are the resource of the human capital resource for America is so valued. An average American's value, if you want to operate a business in America, you will pay the value of an average American. And to a business, they continue looking to the east, to the Asia, Abi. And when they were looking to the Asian countries, right, they were improving their own human capital resources by developing them. Today, they are better off for it too. What exactly are we? Baba, we've not gained anything, Sha. I just remember nothing. We have offered the world different best brains, right? Like you said, in diaspora all over the place. But Nigeria has gained nothing.
I cringe. Nothing. Yeah, so those guys would just do the same thing. It's the same modus operandi they were doing ever since they were young people. They are doing to us now. So I will sincerely hope that it does not go through, because we will be shortchanged and will be worse off. There isn't any clear pathway to lift any Nigerian hands up in this deal. It's just to use us as some form of beer bunny now, and they make money and they go. We are worse off. You cannot look internally. Baba, see, do you know how many engineering departments you have in that country?
Honestly,
people that have
skills, tens of thousands of engineering graduates,
of people that you can redefine their syllabus and make sure they are they are properly equipped to serve their country. Because in every country, Baba, you must have a certain number of engineers per 1,000 people for you to have any developed economy.
Exactly.
You must. If you miss that index, you can never develop. Because why? Engineers are your problem solvers.
Yes.
They solve problems. That's why we're talking on phone. It's an engineering solution. You can see on TV, everything is engineering solution. They are problem solvers.
Out there for you to hear me or see me.
And I can, Baba, if you look at the human capital they're meant to invest in and make sure we have correct schools and we have graduates that are fit for purpose, we have more engineering schools than Qatar itself put together with Dubai, joined together.
All of them, add them together. We have more.
We have more engineering schools than them. And you go back there, you are begging with a begging bowl. And people are backing this guy. People are backing this guy. Michael.
Honestly.
And there's there was one lady, I'll leave you with this one. There was one lady, an engineer, that used to work for TFL. She went to work for Lagos. They frustrated her life. Do you know where she's working? She's working in Saudi. She's the head of their transport there on that NEOM, that new city they want to build.
Wow.
And there are numerous Nigerian talents.
Men like that to have
Men
similar
like that.
experiences lost to the rest of the world, doing what? I mean, doing wonders.
The woman came. The woman came to Nigeria because she came to Lagos to come and say, I'm loyal. After years of TFL collecting correct money every year, people that make over 150 grand a year, you know, in pounds, come to Nigeria because they are loyal. You frustrate their lives. So they want to give back. They frustrate their lives.
Many of them have
they frustrate their lives. She jacked her back to now to Saudi as the head of engineering for their road. In that Neom city, they are building a new city. And he just came there and they took our engineers. Anyhow. And you're telling me to back this guy? Baba, man. Baba, good night, sir. God bless you
so much, okay? You have a wonderful evening, okay? Thank you so much. I have another person on the line as well. Yeah, let's hear from you. Hello there.
Hello, good evening, my good general political. I'm happy to
you, Baba.
Reach out to you this evening again.
Thank you.
It's always a blessing to hear from you.
Thanks, Baba. Thanks for joining me.
You see, I just want to buttress the point the last caller made. You see, it's unfortunate that the way different civilizations at every point in time has described our elites, that's still the same way they are still behaving today. I want to quote some write-up from some of the other big Arabian scholars. Yes, I will call them Arabian scholars because it happened during the time of slavery, during the trans-Saharan slavery. I'll quote two from one renowned one. Ajahis, he described the black aristocrats, more or less the people that normally sell slaves then to them like, we know that the Zanj, that is the blacks then, are the least intelligent and the least discerning of mankind and the least capable of understanding the consequences of actions. If we look at the way our leaders have been behaving from time immemorial, at least for the closest century that we are in now, like the last caller said, they will make policies and they will not look at the after effects of such policies on the general public. You went to another country telling them that they can take, that you want to benchmark their investment against your own mineral resources that you don't even know the quantity that you have. More or less, these quantities will be running to service how many generations, only God knows. And you are now telling them that they should bring their money. It's more like telling people that, look, I don't have money, but I get my papa land.
Yes.
You see that my papa land? You fit take am. If I don't see money to pay you, anything where you want to do with the land, they do and they go until you collect your money finish.
I need the money now.
Exactly. But you are not looking at that same land is what your children will use, it's what your great-grandchildren will use, and it is, what's it called, more or less their identity to life. Because if you don't have livelihood, you don't have identity.
No.
It's more or less the type of contract the French government have with the Francophone countries, whereby for every mineral resource, they have the right of first refusal. Such that if there's any mineral resource, it's the French government that first of all has the right to say, okay, we don't need it.
Except if they are not interested, then you can go and ask people if they want.
For another person.
In your country.
So now, you are not even benchmarking it against iron ore. Let's even say they are against iron ore, whereby any infrastructural development has to come with iron or with metal.
Nation building, it depends on your iron and every other athletes that you can actually dig out.
That's not true. This is like choosing. You know?
And now, for people who get sense, you get National Assembly.
Yes, it's choosing now. It's like you are saying This is my grandfather's plantation of palm kernel. I don't have money. Take all the, what's it called, borrow me the money.
Yeah,
whenever I start harvesting the palm kernel.
Keep the farm.
Now I'll go to the second quote. The second quote by Al-Jahiz also says, the blacks, that is the kings and the aristocrats that used to sell what's it called? Slaves then. He said they maintain that eloquence that is prized by all people. So you find out that is prized by all people. Despite their dimness, their boundless stupidities, their obtuseness, their crude perception, and their evil disposition, make long speeches.
They do.
If you look at it, it is still the same thing. Look for the best. Look for all the best, what's it called, motivational speakers, like you always say. You find them in Nigeria.
See them.
Look at the policy of repentant Boko Haram. You find boundless stupidity, obtuseness, things that you cannot think of. You'll be thinking, right? Water should be used for bathing. They will tell you that no, water should be used for.
They can even tell you that
I don't even know.
To start fire.
Exactly.
Like water should be petrol, or water is petrol, and you'll be like, no, water is for bathing, right? I said, no, it's to start fire. Pour it on that wood and then light it.
Exactly. Peter Obi said production to what's it called?
Consumption to production. He said
consumption to production. They said no.
Statistics will go shop.
Which country? Now statistics will go shop. Obtuseness. You look at life going straight forward, they will take it backwards, and you'll be like, "Shame me too, Yahweh. Shame me, no, how stupid me." And that's why when you find out that people leave Nigeria, whenever anything happens to them outside, for them to pick up in that society, it's never easy. You'll be talking, people will be talking jargon. Some a policeman with a gun believes that gun, that you have to respect him unless you lose your life, you know?
Lose your life, and it is your fault. If you provoke
me, it's your fault.
If you provoke me and I kill you, it's your fault. Oh. Because you know
look at the Senate. They kidnap people. You are saying prayer. Motion for prayer. Michael, I will just leave it on those two quotes. Thank you very much for your time.
You have left us with so much to think about, by the way. Because a lot of people are there now doing like, Thank you, Baba. You have a wonderful evening yourself, okay? Thank you so much.
Thank you, God.
I will take one more, and I want to believe that I do have a lady on the line. Do I? Hello.
Hi, Michael.
That is Charm. Is that you?
Yes, it's me.
Now you are using a different number, or you are using already.
No, I've got two numbers. So sometimes I use this one.
Now I know what that second number look like now, so I won't be caught unaware. How are you tonight, Charm? In fact, afternoon.
I'm great, thank you. I'm good, thank you. And how are you?
I'm very well. I'm still holding on. I mean, like holding fort here, so can't complain.
I enjoyed your talk today. Your TED talk today. I enjoyed it very much.
In the morning, okay. Go on,
No. I haven't gotten the time for the morning, the first session. So this is the one I typically join this particular time.
Right.
That is 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock.
Yeah, that's
my
our
time.
Time
So,
which is 8 p.m.
Yes. So it's 3 o'clock in New York. So that's the one I normally join. So let me be quick. All right. So I think it was a day that spoke earlier on. It was fantastic. What he said, it was spot on. Like, we have no business. And sometimes I try to wrap my head around it, as in all this, we want to do business with this country, we want to do business with this country and that country. We haven't finished doing business with ourselves. We haven't finished utilizing for our own human capital, or the what they call it, the natural resources that we have, that we're talking about doing business with other countries. There's so much. What I think about, just if you take one like one resource, right? and magnify what can be done with that one resource. And magnify what can be done with that one resource. You'll be surprised at how many industries that you are able to generate. Say, take granite for example, right? People eat it, people use the oil, pharmaceutical companies use the oil. So imagine the number of people that can be employed in various industries on just one granite. Do you understand? Not to talk of the multitude of other resources that we have. Nigeria has no business. That region has no business. I don't want to call it Nigeria because I'm fed up of calling it that entity. That region has no business being poor or being the way it is. It has the capacity to be, a giver of nations or a solver of problems. Like he said, like even the phone that we use, it was a problem that needed to be solved that generated this item. So we have the capacity. I've heard people here say, foolish things like how black people can't do things, and I'm like, that is not an ignorant statement, because black people have done things, have been doing things, and will continue to do things. But when we have leaders like this, we showcase to the world. That's where people can be justified in saying stupid, making stupid comments like that. And he's also right in the fact that that religion is part of the problem. And I dare to say that we are really not worshiping God in that country, as far as I'm concerned. We're worshiping something else. Because God, and I also want to say, that God has the ability to do all things and everything. He knows how to step out of the ordinary to do the extraordinary. But he has also given us the ability, right, to do things for ourselves. The capacity to do things for ourselves.
That's what we heard.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Even if he's going to do what man is able to do, that is, extraordinary. It might be a unique case. Do you understand? But when we have been given the ability to solve our own problems, there is no reason for us to be shouting.
Humans have explored. Humans have broken barriers. Okay, having a road, having a motorable road, 24 hours electricity, a working healthcare system, working security system. All these are man-made. We don't need God to come and give us vision on how to do them anymore.
Listen, my God, like I said, we are not serving God. I don't know what we're doing in that country. Because we can sit down and study the word of God and try to be like Christ, in a way that is not about, oh God, give me money for food, give me money for light, give us money for, let us help us to, have good road, let the riches and the wicked not come and keep us in the. When things are working properly, nobody is going to be lining up and screaming at the top of their lungs and, asking God to do the things that we are able to do for ourselves. That's the problem that we have here now. As a youth, we pray for Nigeria in distress. I'm not quite sure what we'll be praying for now, because Nigeria is it has passed more than distress. It has gone somewhere else, So we again, like I said, we have the capacity to solve our own problems, and I think we just keep saying we have the capacity to solve our own problems. And again, like everyone has said on this platform, religion is part of the biggest problem that we have. And our inability as people to call out even our religious leaders and tell them, enough of your bullshit and enough of your nonsense. You're either going to tell us what we need to, you either tell us the truth, or you get off this, or you get off this podium.
Okay? Don't stop holding us down for them. Stop.
Exactly. Stop holding us down for them. But the problem is also us as people, because as many of us here on the temple who have acknowledged and agreed that the problem is religion, how many of us go to Sunday and go to the churches on a Sunday, or go to the mosque on a Friday and challenge our religious leaders to do the right thing? How many of us will do it? We heard it today, but how many of us are going to hand on our heart, go to our churches today and talk to our pastors?
How many of us are not really scared? It's only when you are the temple of truth that you say to yourself, I'm not scared of them. I'm not scared of anything. Exactly. Are you sure you're not really scared of them when you are in their presence? I'm talking about those Jews.
Let me see whether the change that we're looking for is going to start after today that we talked on this platform, where all of us have agreed and said that, religion is a problem. Let me see how many of us will go to church on a Sunday and challenge those our leaders and say, okay, enough of this nonsense. Challenge your mothers and your fathers and Mama Gio.
Do not keep quiet while you are being misled or being led by your nose, right? Because at the end of the day, right, all of us are going to share in the consequences of either our actions or our inactions. Because the same act, when we take action, Cham, right, is similar to us not taking action too. You know, there are people who have kept quiet in the face of this brazen oppression and all of that. They kept quiet. Which your silence is what? Is an agreement with the oppression. So not doing something too is also what? Because sometimes we say people's silence are so loud. Yeah, we can hear it so loud.
From a mile away. So absolutely, doing nothing means doing something. Because what you're saying is that, yes, I agree with what you're doing because you haven't stepped out. Absolutely, absolutely. Anyway, like I don't want to take too much of your time, but again, you know, continue to do the good work that you do. But my challenge is to the people, all of us who are listening on this temple, let us not just be talkers. Let us start doing the work. You know?
Do not just be talky, try and be the doing. All of us are challenged. Nobody is going to do anything for us. It's either we roll up our sleeves and get ourselves ready, or we cannot continue to pretend that we are waiting for somebody to do it for us. But Charm, you know, my own final says that nobody is needed to be told what to do. Every one of us, right, we do what we have to do the moment we know that we do not have any other option anymore. Charm, say me well to those kids, okay? And you have a wonderful, weekend yourself, okay? Thank you so much, man. Now that's Lady Charm. I'm going to take one more call, and that should be us for the evening. Now, we are not too many tonight, which is kind of a plus for some of you who wanted to be part of this tonight. I am so sorry that if you are still dialing and you're unable to get through, that is because we are almost done. But let's hear this first. Hello.
Hello, good evening, Michael.
Good evening to you, Baba. How are you?
I'm good. I'm always the last one. I'm not.
So you are like the big masquerade that dances last. Now let's see how it goes, Baba. How are you tonight, by the way?
Yeah, I'm good. It's very well for you, sir.
Great. Go on, Baba.
Yeah. I joined the broadcast.
You might need to move the phone to your mouth in case, because it seems that you're like far away from the phone. I wouldn't know why. Do you mind?
Okay.
Yeah, it seems like the phone is on speaker, is on the table, and you are far from. I'm not sure. I don't know why, but maybe a little bit closer could be louder. It's all right.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, this is better. Far better.
All right.
Whatever you did, right? Please keep it that way. All of us can hear you, sir. Go on.
All right. So I joined the broadcast late because I came in late from work.
Bless you.
This is Ferdinand from Newcastle.
Ferdinand
from Newcastle.
Thank you, man. Go on anyway.
Yeah.
Say something.
Yeah. So I'll just be brief so you can round up because I know you're already rounding up. You see, the problem with I was listening to when you were actually talking to people who advise you on political correctness. You see, those people are in prison, they are enslaved, but they don't know. You know, there is a book I read. There was this book I read, Physical Imprisonment and Mental Imprisonment. You see, when you put a man in jail, you've put him you've entrapped him like physically. So he knows he's in jail, and the only way to get out from that prison is to break out and run away for his life and flee away. But you see, when you actually put a man in psychological imprisonment, like by twisting his head and making him see things from a different perspective, and you try to control his reasoning with religion or politics or something, that one is even worse than putting somebody in jail, because that person can never break out of that prison, even if you're trying to help him.
That is the worst one, right? You remember what
that is the worst one, yeah.
Quote, right? There is this quote of why can't I remember her name, Henrietta or something, right? That said, I saved many slaves, but I could have saved more only if those people knew they were slaves. The problem, psychological slavery, is that the slavery is not with
you don't even know.
It's not physical.
It's not physical. Thank you, exactly. And they don't even know they are enslaved.
They do not know. That's what she said. She said, I could have saved more only if they knew they were slaves.
Exactly. Now that brings me to my contribution this night.
Please.
I used to be like that until I got out of Nigeria. When I arrived to the UK, I started looking at how the whole place was structured and how the whole system is working. We are both in the UK. You know, they still use their Royal Mail. That's like their post office.
They do, Baba. They will never sell it, ever.
Yeah, they still use their Royal Mail. Royal Mail. Exactly. Royal Mail has been in existence for over 200 years. Royal Mail has been in existence for 300 and something years.
That is true.
But you remember that our own post office, we gained independence in 1960. Our own post office was sent home by just GSM. Just text messages just came out. People stopped writing data, and the government couldn't even revive that sector, and they just left it like that.
Let's even
a lot of things
that if they could successfully map Nigeria, Nigerian streets, and you can send their post and you can track it to those streets. They've not been able to do that for 63 years.
They've not been able to for 63 years. Not just that, for 63 years, we've been selling crude oil without any account. If Nigeria is a businessman, he's a total failure.
It is.
Because you cannot be doing a business for 63 years. You sell billions of dollars of worth of crude oil, and you don't even have any money to show for it.
Bring those records out now, and anybody will be able. Meanwhile, right? If you have any,
if you ask them to bring the record out, they will go and set an office admin, set it on fire, and tell you that the record got destroyed. So those people who are always they're always so protective and advising you about the GO and all the rest of them, they are enslaved. So forget about those people. And is it not either Adeboye or Onyedepo who protested during Jonathan's tenure when dollar got to 280? And they adopted 200. Okay, it was Adeboye, right?
It was him now. It was him that led a protest, and he kept asking Jonathan. You know the saddest thing, right? May I say this one before you continue?
Okay, but
May I say this one, right?
Okay.
See, back then, right, under Jonathan, okay, Jonathan succeeded Yaradua in 2010, May, if you remember.
Yeah.
And then a few months after that, he started running to be a substantial president. Then in 2011, he was elected as substantive president. Do you know that May 2011, he was sworn in as a substantive president, replacing Yaradua. And by September, that same 2011, Adeboye already led a protest against Jonathan. Because you remember that the following year, 2012, was when they had the protest, Save Nigeria protest. Now that same Adeboye is now asking people to, number one, it is too early to criticize Thiefnubu.
That is my point.
Then they must pray for him.
That is my point.
Who is fooling?
That is my point. And Nigeria is not even in deep shit like it was during that period.
Back then, and they all had their voices. But look at them today.
Yes. In fact, if you compare Tinubu's tenure now to what led to protests in 2011, it was like Nigeria was like in heaven, because dollar was 280. The insecurity wasn't as drastic as it is now.
No.
But right now, the same dollar is at 1,007.
And back then, everything that was wrong, from economy to security, everything stopped. The box stopped on Jonathan's table. But immediately, Bokohari and Thiefnubu came in. Now it's some people that are doing it. They are the one who are supposed to keep Nigeria safe. There are those who are supposed to keep the economy better. Not Thiefnubu, not Bokohari. See the double standard.
Yeah, exactly. And even this Tinubu was even marking all sorts of things, saying all sorts of things. Now it has gotten to his turn. The situation has quadrupled, and they are now saying, if you have an idea, don't come and give him an idea. Did he give Jonathan an idea when it was his own turn? Did he give Jonathan an idea? Why is Adeboye not protesting now that dollar is 1,007? Why is he not protesting now? Why have he changed his math?
You know, Redeem Church.
Why have he changed his math? You see these people, they are very, very selfish.
They are.
Very, very selfish. So forget those people that are always, kind of like backing them up and supporting them. Look, my good, the way Nigeria is going now, we don't even need to stress ourselves about breaking up. Nigeria is already breaking up. Nigeria is already breaking up because this hunger is going to break. It has already divided the country. There's no country there again. So it has already divided the country. And
So
I'm happy it has gotten to this
time,
extent. Of course. We are living on a borrowed time. Everybody knows that. So let us just watch and see what happens in a couple of days, days to come. That's where I rest my case. Thank you very much, Baba.
God bless you, Ben. I'm so sorry that I kept stampeding you and all that. Is because we are almost done. Okay, Baba. I appreciate this.
It's okay.
Okay? Eh?
It's okay. Yeah.
Wonderful
Okay.
weekend.
Thank you very much.
Nice one, man. Thank you.
You too.
So that's Bernard from Newcastle. The program tonight has been interesting, you will say. A lot of people have made a lot of contributions. So if you joined us midway, I do advise you to please try and watch this from the beginning again. Okay. And to everybody who sort of stayed till this time, I want to say thank you. I am going to see you again tomorrow. It is what it is. Stay safe. Take it easy. And please save your money. Those of you who are going to be sending the money, sometimes you probably do not know you are helping these criminals that has no single plan for the entire people in that contraption, okay? But yes, may we live long enough to witness how this ends. But for what it is, I have done my part tonight. I will see you again. But until I see you then, do not stop watching Mayegun. Have a wonderful evening. And even a more better weekend. I'll see you again. Good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Mayegun #1. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Mayegun #1. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Mayegun Diary Mayegun #1. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun Diary Mayegun #1. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun Diary Mayegun #1. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary Mayegun #1. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun Diary Mayegun #1. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary Mayegun #1. Mayegun Diary politico. Mayegun Diary Mayegun #1. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun Diary Mayegun #1. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun Diary Mayegun #1. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Mayegun #1. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí bá. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sè mọ́bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́, ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà. Àìsíwọ̀lú ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o, ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.